Yeah. So we'll start with a short meditation and then we'll take up the topic for today for discussion. Yeah. So let us close our eyes. And some of us may feel a bit of resistance because it feels awkward to do an online meditation, but it's okay. Let it be and just close your eyes and take 3 deep and slow breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And now we'll just stay with the breath. Just staying with the breath. And even if thoughts are appearing, maybe some judgments, some opinions, just let them come and go. Stay with your breath. You may wander again and again, lost in the thought, but come back again to the breath. And now know yourself as this vast space in which all the thoughts, feelings, sensations can come and go. But you are not clinging to them. They're coming, they're going, but you are not engaging with the thoughts. Usually we engage with the thoughts. You are staying with your breath. And some thoughts may appear very, very important, very crucial. As if we don't think about them, what would happen? But just let them be. Stay with the breath. And hold that image of being a vast space which allows things to come and go. And breath is the thread with which you do this, staying with the breath. No thought is important, no feeling is important, no judgment, no opinion is important, but staying with the breath. Yeah, so this is just for all of us to get a taste of it. You can do it at home, whenever you are in your silences, you have some quiet time, and see how the monkey mind comes and chatters again and again. Yeah, so whenever you are ready, you can open your eyes now. And those of us who would like to try this out, it's a beautiful way to silence the chatter of the mind, and to also see that uh, how chatterable our mind is, how chattering. Because 2 moments you will stay with the breath and you will again see that you have lost the thread. So that's how it is. But this is what we call taming the mind. Yeah, this is just one of the tools. where we cling on to the breath as the thread, and we don't give importance to any thought, any feeling, any sense perception. They may come and go, but we don't give them importance. We don't get lost in it. Even if we do get lost in it, we come back to the breath. Just like a little puppy, when you have a little puppy at home, it'll go out again from your lap and maybe chew at something. So you bring it back again to the lap. Then you bring it back. So just like that, we keep on. We don't judge that, oh my God, I lost the thread again. We don't judge. We just bring the puppy back. Bring your attention back to the breath. And it would be a nice experiment for all of us to try at home, that how long we can stay. Initially, we will see that only 5 minutes maybe we can stay with breath, and then the mind wanders. So then slowly we can increase this time, because this really helps with mastering your thoughts and quietening the mind and getting in touch with your true self. Only after quietening the mind, we can have a sense of who I truly am. Yeah? So I thought I'll just give you a taste of that. So today's theme is why and how to become our best friends. So let us first share what is the need, why to become our best friend at all, and maybe what resonated with this topic, that you thought, okay, let me go and maybe discuss this out, or hear or listen. So if anyone would like to share, why are we here today, and why is it important to become our best friend? Or maybe you think that it's not important, so you can share that. So whatever comes to you, whatever you want to share at the moment, please go ahead, unmute and share.
Hi ma'am, my
Yes,
name is Samruddhi. I was just searching for events to attend and I came across this event. And why I resonate, because to be honest, I'm a overthinker and I have self-destructive behavior as well. And people say that love yourself and all that. So I just, want to learn that. If you love yourself, then only I believe that then only you can be your own best friend. Or else you can't. If you don't love yourself, you can't be your best friend. So I thought that if I get to learn something, I may apply it. Like I will try, because it's kind of hard for me to, whatever I read or something, it's kind of hard for me to apply those things in my real life. So, yeah.
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Samriddhi. And the moment you said I am an overthinker, I'm sure all of us can resonate with that, because we all are overthinkers, all of us, and the other word that you used is self-destructive behavior. And I'm sure all of us would resonate again, that we all are not really our best friends, because, when you are talking about self-love, first of all, we don't even know that when we love anyone, we would actually think the best of him, the best possible we would think for that person if we truly love. But usually what we see around in society and media, attachment is called as love. That if you cling to a person, if you always are with a person and emotionally dependent on that person, then it is love. That is how Bollywood movies usually portray it, right? So for that, it also becomes important for us to know that what truly is love. If I love a person, would I always cling?
Basically, sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, please
Basically,
go
it's
ahead.
just infatuation, right? What they are portraying is infatuation and not love. So,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Please feel free to share at any
Oh no,
moment.
that was the only thing.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so we'll maybe discuss about the points that you reflected upon. We'll talk about that. Yeah, anyone else who wants to put forward their thoughts on maybe why to become our best friend? What's the need? Why are we here today? Anyone who wants to share next? Yes,
Yeah.
Ashpriya. Yeah.
I think when we think of becoming our own best friend, so, two things. One is uh, a lot of times we feel that we should not focus on ourselves, which is a problem with me. So if I like self love is something which is negative, and sometimes I have thought about it. People focus too much. Because there's a lot of narratives going on in this world about self love, and then to find that self, which is to be loved, and what is that love? I think that is why I joined.
Yeah, beautiful. I think you have just hit at the root of the issue, because for me to love myself, I have to know, first of all, what love is, which we have no idea of. And the other thing is, what is this self that I need to love, and who is the I who would be loving, So I have to love myself, are the two different things. And, so absolutely agree with, I think that's the root. And also many a times we confuse self-love with narcissism. But yeah, that right now, if we think about our day, all the thoughts that go in our head throughout a 24-hour period, we will see that every thought is obsessive in nature, in the sense it all revolves around me, 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 me. So is that self love? And if that's self love, why isn't giving me contentment? Yeah, so there must be something else about it, because if this is self love, that always I keep on thinking about this little self which I am, this little body, thought and feelings, then it doesn't give me contentment thinking about my own self all the day. So what really is self love? So maybe we can touch upon that today also. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, so the thing is that in various ways we think of self-preservation.
Yeah,
Now, if we think of self-love, it, I mean, we also think about inclusion, right? And if I'm only loving myself, or if I'm focused on loving myself, where is the inclusion of the world? Where is the inclusion of everyone else that is around me? That is also something which I have thought about. And where do I place really myself in
beautiful.
that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you are saying that if I am obsessed with myself and loving myself, my little self, then how do I become inclusive? Because if I'm always obsessive about my own self,
Yeah.
then as if I exclude others, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
When where exactly I should be placing myself in the context of the world. How do I place myself? This is a question which I had a long time back, and probably I had forgotten also. Now that with this session, it is coming up.
beautiful, beautiful. So this, just wanting to touch upon this, and maybe we'll extrapolate later. This self that we talk of, which has to be loved, this self is the self which is shared by all. Just like, imagine that there are 10 houses. They are standing in a space. So there is this one space, one single continuity of space. And in that, there are 10 different houses. So what is the common thing between those 10 different houses? The space, right? So when we talk about true love or true self, this self is this one shared being that all of us share, just like that space is there and 10 houses are there. So if I truly become love myself, if I truly develop an intimate connection with myself, it is impossible that I exclude others. Why? Because that self is shared by all, just like that space is shared by all those 10 houses that are standing in that space. So if a tsunami comes and removes all those 10 houses, you will see that the space has always been one. Space was never divided. हम कह सकते हैं that, oh, ये इस घर की space, ये इस घर की space, ये इस घर की space, but that's only our appearance that is making it appear like different spaces. The moment a tsunami comes and takes away all the homes, you see that the space is always one. Space is not divided. Yeah. So that ways our one shared being, which we called our Buddha nature, our true self, that is one. And if I truly develop an intimate connection with my own self, it cannot be that I exclude others. It is impossible. So if I am excluding others and just thinking about my own self, definitely I am in the trap of my little self, which is we call the ego consciousness. The ego separate entity, that मैं छोटा सा और बाकी सब अलग, that is the little self. But when we truly talk about getting in touch with ourselves, then it is the larger self. You become automatically compassionate, you automatically become empathetic towards other, lovable towards other. Yeah, Samriddhi, you wanted to share something? Please share. Yeah,
I agree with what you say.
yeah, thoda louder, a bit louder.
Sorry. So I agree with what you say. I understood also, but there is one point that sometimes like we need to keep ourselves in the first place rather than thinking about anyone else. Sometimes, like there are times that we need to think about us first and then the rest of the world. So, what do you think? What you can say on this?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
So
I'm always confused between being selfish and being, sorry, being selfish or practicing self love. I just can't differentiate between those two. So please,
yeah,
can you?
yeah. It's actually very confusing. If you look at the surface, it's actually very confusing because uh, now, first of all, let us see what do we do for our best friend. Now, imagine that I have a best friend. I will actually wish the best for him, that he has independence. He is able to explore everything he wants to explore. And I don't cling to that best friend कि तू हमेशा मेरे साथ ही रहे, तू किसी और के साथ मत रहे, because that will be limiting the friend. So now that cannot be called as truly love, because now I am attaching myself to the friend, and I'm saying that you become only mine and you don't go to others. Yeah, so that is not, I'm not thinking the highest for that friend. So whenever there is a best friendship and there is true love there, I would actually want the other person to go out, explore, be independent, have wings, and take their own decisions. Although I am here, I am available, but I don't want to be dependent on that friend, and I don't want that the friend should become dependent on me, because that would be restricting each other. Okay? Now, when we talk about self-love or selfishness, how do we differentiate? Just a little pointer, there may be many pointers, is that whatever I am thinking, is it about the highest possible that I am thinking for myself, or is it just a little desire that I want to fulfill? Highest possible. And whenever I think the highest possible for me, it is impossible that it does harm to others. Think about it. Take a decision. Imagine that you're taking a decision in your life, and you are taking it that, okay, I am my bestest friend, I have to think the best for me, the highest possible for me. So if you actually talk about taking an action there, it is impossible that if you take an action and it will be harming or be not good for others. Usually what we do is, when we talk about self-love, we talk about fulfilling my little needs and desires. That always hurts others. So what I want the first class degree, and for that I have to become very ambitious. And when I become very ambitious, I do elbow to the others who are in this race. So this now is selfishness, when I'm hitting others, when I'm placing others below me, rather than helping them on the path. So now if I think that, okay, what is the highest possible for me? Highest possible is that I also walk on this path, I become the best in this field, and I help all the others who want to become the best. Now I cannot harm anyone. So this is true self-love. Just a little example, because in this, myself is one with the self of others. This is the true self that we talk of. Now imagine that I have fallen into a kind of a relationship. Usually, whenever we talk of relationships, in the name of love, we do torture. We say, I need you, so you become close to me. And in that, the poor other fellow has to limit himself and, torture himself, that he has to do all the things so that he can be with you, because you are emotionally dependent. That is what we call love, usually. But is that really love? Because torture cannot be love. Limiting the other person, constricting the other person, not letting the other person be, not giving space, making the other emotionally dependent on me. Can that be really called love? So we have to question that. Yeah. So as you were sharing that whenever I'm taking decisions, thinking the highest possible for myself in that particular situation, whatever is my capacity, then it is impossible that I am able to hurt others. So I am also very selfish. Why? Because I'm thinking the highest possible for myself, right? So in that sense, I'm selfish. But in that selfishness, I'm actually one with others. So I am benefiting all of the people who are maybe connected. Yeah. Yeah. Any further thoughts, any reflections? Please feel free to, comment and share. It is just an open kind of discussion. There is no single point where we want to go, and open to any questions, doubts, or reflections. And we'll also, I would like to come to towards the end. I would like to come to first of all, why it is so urgent to become our best friend, and also how do we do that. So that was the topic, that how and why. Why is it urgent? Because if I don't become my best friend, I always want to become dependent on others for it. See how we live life. We always are seeking for approvals. We can't be alone. We always want company. We cannot stand our own company. So, and in that, we do things which are not really good on others. We cling and attach to people कि अगर तू नहीं होगा तो मेरा क्या होगा? तेरे बिना मैं अधूरा. So if I am not my best friend, if I cannot stand my own company, then whatever relationship I engage in would be a torturous relationship.
But ma'am, I think that if we are in a company, then the codependency comes naturally, right? I mean, it's not forced. Like, for example, if you trust someone, then you always have that secure feeling कि अभी मैंने इसको ये बोला, so he won't do anything like that. So वो तो मतलब naturally आता है ना. So still.
Yeah.
So you're talking about individuality also, right? Here.
So, Samriddhi, you are talking about interdependence.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Interdependence is beautiful, and that's why we all are there. So many of us, billions of us, very, very different from each other, right? Yes. But what I am talking of is that although there is a harmony between each of us, if I want to, have any work done, since I know you, I have interdependence, we have codependency as you were sharing. So I can ask you for work or this help or that help. But what happens is that many a times I may ask you, you may be busy somewhere, and then I have thoughts in my head going on. Oh my God, why did she not help me? Has she started, so we begin to attach to that interdependence. The point is that is that a possibility that we have interdependence, but there is no dependency on interdependency? जब है तब भी ठीक है, जब नहीं है तो भी ठीक है. So in that, what happens is that I do not become like a parasite to the other person, right? So when the friendship is there, interdependence is there, I enjoy it. I enjoy when we talk and when we exchange thoughts. But when it is not there, it's not that I'm lacking something. I am my friend. I am with myself. So yeah, developing that kind of a connection with myself, that I can be in my company. And
Basically, someone who loves themselves and can be with themselves
yeah, with themselves.
if
Yes.
no one is there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the other thing I wanted to share was, people come and go. Things change. Change is a constant in life. Only change is constant. Rest all changes, right? So people will come and go. Relationships will come and go. Places may change. Jobs may change. But as long as I am alive, I am going to be there. ऐसा नहीं होने वाला that I can see myself go. That is not going to happen. I am going to be there as long as I am there. So that's why, because the relationship with my own self is such a close relation, because that would not come and go. So that's why can I make the best use of it. And if I actually become very, very comfortable in my own company, then the beauty of it is that I cannot be torturous in my relationships. मैं किसी को अपनी कमी पूरी करने के लिए एक रिलेशनशिप में नहीं जाऊंगी. It can be a relationship, but not because I am full of lack and you fill this lack. That would not happen. Yes, I am content, and if there is a relationship, it is there. If it passes by, because things do pass by, things do change. If the relationship changes its form and phase, then also I am okay, I am content. So being content with whoever I am. And
I have one more question.
please, yeah.
There are some people who like to keep their professional and personal lives and personality different. So is this good or bad? I mean, some people are like, they behave like a total different person in their houses, but when they go out, they totally show up like someone else. So what do you think about this?
What do you think about it, Samriddhi?
I mean, it's nice, right? Like behaving professional like a professional and giving that kind of energy in your workspace is important, right? You can't behave like you behave at your house, right? So I think the balance should be there. Like, I feel it's okay to be like that because I am quite like that. I behave a bit different outside and a bit different with my family or something.
And what is the difference actually, if you would like to share? So how do you see yourself? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I'm an ambivert as a person. So like outside, I tend to listen more. I speak whenever it is needed, or I appear to be more of a silent person. But if you actually know me at house, I'm completely opposite. I'm like laughing, having fun, and all that stuff. So I'm quite different. So yeah.
I think there is no formula about it. That is it good, is it bad? Whatever works, and whatever, we are all evolving beings. So at every phase of our life, we need certain things. I may need a certain exposure, and for that I behave differently. And I think there is no need of worrying about it or wanting to know whether it is good or bad. If it works for you, if it's working for you, if you feel it is making you evolve, if you feel it's making you progress, the way to go. And if for someone else it does not work, if for someone else he says that no, I don't want to have a different face in professional and personal life, I want to be one, good for him. So whatever works, because life is complex, and we have complex needs as human beings. So yeah, if it's working, I would say. And you would know whenever there is a need for you to be one professionally and personally, you will get a calling from within ki now Samriddhi, time to become one. Right? So yeah. Yes,
I
Ash.
was just thinking that, see, a lot of times when we go to a therapist, we are provided with a safe space, which means that there we can disclose our, darkest secret, or we are allowed to break down whatever it is. Now, if we can become that safe space to our own selves, that we allow ourselves to, break our heart. So when we are actually, why I'm saying this is because, see, a lot of times we actually do not realize that whether we are becoming, maybe selfish, or we have our own selfish agenda behind it. And maybe we are thinking that we are giving a lot, but we are also taking a lot, or expecting a lot actually. Now it is, I mean, we will have to be, I think we'll have to accept the fact that our hearts can break, that then, and then yet after that there is life, yet after that there is a lot of light, not just life, there's a lot of light. I think there, I think, we become our best friends. Like what happens when we think, when I'm just thinking about a, someone who is very close to me, is that someone wants to do something which I feel that is probably not so good an idea. But I will never tell that person that, oh, this is not a good idea. And even if I do say, I will not tell that person that don't do it. These are the things you can still go ahead and try. And yet after that, if that person, fails, or gets into that, emotional crisis, I am there for you. So I become that support system for my best friend. Similarly, if I why can't I become that support system for my own self? That I have that vulnerable part in me, and I accept that vulnerable part, and and allow myself to go through that before becoming that person who can expand so much, or I don't know. I mean, that person who is much more whole that way.
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm just thinking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's beautiful, the first part where you said that, can I become my own safe space? I think that's very, very powerful. Yeah. Because most often than not, we are not even honest with our own self.
Yeah.
Not only with other people, we are not even
Not
honest.
all, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is where I think the pain is much more,
Yeah.
because of the fact that we are not really honest to ourselves, because our ego is there, and then we are not accepting our pain. It's okay to, fail and all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this relationship of, for example, a mother and a child, it's a beautiful metaphor to see that how, for example, a child, no matter how much of sin, so-called sin in terms of society, the child may have committed, the mother will still have a heart for the child, and she would still think that abhi bhi iska kuch ho sakta hai, abhi bhi iska kuch ho sakta hai, as you were saying, that no matter how many times I may fail, still there is so much in life, I can still move on, I can still move on. So if that kind of a friendship, I think it's so important and potent, if I can have with myself, that no matter how many times I may fail, I will get up, dust my pants, and go ahead, move ahead. I think
Yeah,
that's what we
yeah.
need.
When especially a lot of us who are consciously seeking,
Yeah.
something beyond, we kind of, I think it happens with me at least. We fall in that trap that, oh, I have come to a, a place where I can deal with a lot of, and then something happens again. I'm sure that no, it is not really there. You're not really there, and then I get into that space where, oh, probably I'm still not there. Then what is the point of working towards it so hard? And then 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 slowly I realized that it's okay. I have to surrender to this. This is the space. the
Yeah.
surrender.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. I was listening to a person, and she said that we don't have to take our thoughts so seriously.
Yeah.
That was so liberating.
Mm.
Because that's what we do all the time.
Yeah.
We are so attached to our thoughts that ये मेरी thought है.
Mm.
This is my thought, and that's why I should think about it. And we get entangled again and again. We get entangled again and again. We get entangled. So
फिर आता है.
yeah,
Yeah,
please,
sorry.
please, please,
Sorry,
please.
sorry.
Yeah,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead, please.
No, I was just saying that पर जिंदगी आके बस बता ही देते हैं कि नहीं हो रहा है, अभी तक नहीं हो. And it's a good
Exactly.
thing. I have actually gradually I realized it's a good thing that life comes, which means that which actually have started believing that it's life is actually taking care of me. Is actually I am on the right path. That it is coming and breaking me so many times.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think if that understanding can be there, that life is with me, because that's why this shattering is
Yeah.
happening, because ego needs to be shattered so that my true self can come out, get
Yeah.
liberated from the clutches of the ego. So it's
Even
beautiful. Yeah.
I was reading a book, Don't Be Ashamed of Yourself by Surbhi Taneja. I'm not sure about the name, but in that, I still remember I highlighted that one line is that whatever happens for a reason, and that too a good reason. So if you think whatever is happening for something good which is coming to you, then I think that your thoughts won't affect you that much, like especially the negative ones.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's a very
So
good piece of advice. Yeah.
yeah, as I said that I'm an overthinker, I tend to overthink everything. So sometimes I do that कि अभी मतलब if I have some breakups in friendships, so I always think that maybe they were not good for me, so God just removed them, but they also taught me something. So like you
Beautiful,
said before, people are temporary and permanent, two categories.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. I think that's a very nice attitude towards situations, that if things are going away, can I have this attitude that maybe something good is happening through this phase? Although it's a difficult phase, as Ashpriya was sharing, maybe it's a very painful phase, but something good is going to happen. If that little spark of faith can be there, and that really
Ma'am,
can change something.
when it comes to like death, I mean, as much as spiritual you are, I mean, especially parents, how do you, just decode your mind? I mean, how do you make it more flexible to understand that even death is good? I mean, eventually it happens, but uh, I mean, as you just said, that every loss is in a way good. I mean, pain is good, but then a part of you knows it, but there's always this duality, right? So how do you find a way around?
So one thing, Mohita, is that I have a feeling that there is one reason uh, why we don't accept death so easily, because somewhere we know, all of us, that we are immortals.
Yeah.
Our bodies are not at the moment. They will become immortal in maybe years later. And right now, the way our bodies are, they are not immortal, but we as consciousness, we are immortals. So that's why I feel that's why we have so much of trouble accepting death. That, oh my God, how can this happen?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
The other thing, paradoxically, is so many people are dying every day. But I think मेरे साथ नहीं हो सकता.
Exactly. I mean, till it happens to you, I mean, a part of you knows it that it can happen to you, but when it happens to, it's like ये तो किसी और के साथ होता है, मेरे साथ क्यों नहीं हो सकता?
Exactly. So that is the egoistic state in which we live. And when it happens to me, then only I open to the pain of others.
Yeah.
Then only I see, oh my God, what that guy must be going through, because now I have lost someone who I love. Now I can understand the pain of that person. So it comes for a reason, that it opens our heart.
Yeah.
Otherwise we are so enclosed कि मेरे घर में अगर कोई नहीं मरा तो मरते रहे लोग जितने भी मर रहे हैं. बट अगर मेरे घर में अब मर गया, अब मुझे उनका दर्द समझ में आएगा कि क्या दर्द होता है. So it actually is deeply connecting, death.
Yeah. That makes sense. Spiritually, it does make sense.
Yeah. Even materially, that it makes me empathetic towards people.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. I
Mhm.
mean, I do agree with that, but it's just that a part of you just it feels like it just dies, when you
It dies,
when you lose a parent,
absolutely.
it dies with them.
Yes. And use this, Mohita, because whatever pain happens in my life, if I can use that pain to connect to the pain of others, then you have made good use of your pain.
Definitely.
So
No,
you can.
I could definitely feel a change. I mean, initially I could be like, if my mom, dad are happy and my friends, family are happy, it's okay. I mean, but then I mean, after mom passed away, it's like, oh my god. I mean, suddenly you are just, even if somebody else is feeling some pain or somebody else is going through something, it's like you are feeling it. It's like it's on your skin. It feels
Beautiful,
like that.
beautiful. So this opens our hearts.
Yeah.
And we don't even know that as human beings in egoistic consciousness, we mostly live with closed hearts.
That's true. Yeah.
So happens for good. Happens for good, that whatever is opening my heart, good. No matter how much pain I have to go through, doesn't matter. Everybody goes through pain. कौन है एक बंदा पकड़ लो. You remember that story of Buddha, who once went to a village, and there was a lady who came to her and she said that my child has passed away. You have so much of power. Can you put life back in my child?
Yeah.
You remember that story? What he
And then
says?
he's like, just go to any home where there has no death has occurred. I mean, there was no home like that.
Exactly. So then she realizes that there would be, this would happen. This happens with everyone, right? But then it opens us up कि अच्छा, अच्छा ये मेरे साथ भी हो सकता है. I remember the first time I was diagnosed with an illness, it actually was as if it happens to others.
Yeah.
Now, who are those others? We are those others, that.
Exactly.
So it actually really broke me open for the very first time that this can happen with anyone. So we are all equals.
Yeah, it throws you in deep waters, it does. Then
Yeah,
it's like now you figure it out.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
That makes sense, ma'am. Thank you so much.
yeah.
Just yesterday I was talking about this to my brother, that how we take pride in our luck also. Like, अरे हम तो बहुत lucky है. And that is, I think, that is something which only such pain or such an happening can break that ego, because otherwise it's so difficult to break that thing that, oh, we have so much luck.
Absolutely beautiful. I was listening again in that talk about Buddhism. The lady said that whenever something bad happens to anyone, like a death or a loss or accident or anything, disease, losing a job, losing finances, we always feel pity, that, oh my God, what happened? But a part of me is sharing, thank God it's not me. So
Yeah.
yes, that
Yeah.
condition is pitiable, but thank God it's not me, it's somebody else. And there she suggested a practice. It's a beautiful practice for those of us who are ready. Maybe they can try it. Little practice when you are in your silent, quiet time. And if you are going through pain, can you connect with all the people who are going through such pain? For example, I'll give you an example. Maybe I have a disease, an illness, and I'm going through extreme suffering through that illness. Now, can I use that illness and pain that I'm going through and connect to all those people who are going through such illness and connect to their suffering, right? That अगर मेरे साथ हो रहा है तो बहुत सारे और भी लोगों के साथ हो रहा होगा, obviously, right? Breathe in all those sufferings of those people and breathe out wellness and harmony. She said that now you can make the best use of your illness because you used it to connect with the pains others are going through. Otherwise, we are so limited and suffocated in our own little houses and little selves. So this is very opening in nature that I made the best use of my suffering. है ना, self love भी है यहाँ पे, देखो self love भी है, selfishness भी है, that I'm making the best use of my suffering. What am I doing? I'm inhaling the suffering of all the people who are going through such a disease and I'm exhaling out wellness and harmony. So इसमें मेरा भी हित हुआ, my benefit also, and I benefited others without telling that I've done a benefit to you. So that's how powerful being our best friend can be. Right? So I chose the highest possible for me, and in that I gave out the highest possible for others. But it requires a lot of dedication. If I am after my little needs and desires and ambitions and greeds, then I can't even think of entering such a space. For example, if I've been burning in jealousy and I notice, oh my God, I have been burning in jealousy, right? The moment I notice it, I can transform it. How? I connect with all the people who burn in jealousy. I inhale the pain and suffering they go through and then exhale out wellness and harmony and well-being. So everything that I'm going through, which is troublesome, problematic, each moment can be made use of by connecting with others, because it's only mostly in pain that we connect with others, not otherwise. In our happinesses, we are very content with our little self. मैं और मेरे चार लोग, मैं और मेरे दोस्त, मैं और मेरे दोस्त, मैं और मेरे relatives. That's it. That's my world. But the moment pain enters our life, something, as Ashpriya was sharing, shatters. And that shattering is very, very auspicious. It is the shattering of our shells of separate self. So it's very, very auspicious shattering.
Ma'am,
Yeah, please, Zainab. Yeah.
the need to become our own best friend, the reason is because we could never able to find better partner than ourselves. A person search happiness from others, from external source. Now if a person got a partner where he get happiness, everything, but after some time he loses his happiness, again he search, then he approach his friends because he finds happiness there. So wherever we go in search of anything, it is like the treasure is under us. We are sitting on it, but looking around ourselves. And we have to become our own friends. It's like accepting our own flaws, the way we are, what are the flaws we have. Only then we can able to accept other person's flaws. On this planet Earth, wherever we go, whichever person we meet, each and every person has flaws. So if we accept our own flaws, only then we can able to other person's flaws. Then, and also self-love, it's not about self-centered. Self-love is different. There is a quote, it was said by Maya Angelou, that as we grow older, we realize we have two hands. One for helping ourselves and the other for helping others. So we need to prioritize ourselves and we need to prioritize our needs. We need to make it a priority, our likes and dislikes. Only then we can go ahead in life, and only then we can reach to our core heart where everything lies there.
So yeah, this is the kind of connection bond we share with our own self.
Yeah, beautifully expressed, Zainab. Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
as Zainab, she said about when, like, whenever we need something, we go to others. It's like, seeking validation all the time. So how do we not do that? I mean, sometimes it happens that we tend to motivate ourselves, but still we feel it's not enough. You get that feeling, no, it's just my thinking, or it won't work. But when we say the same thing to others, it always kinda brings a different feeling or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're sharing how to not seek validation from others.
Yeah.
Right?
And also, ma'am, with jealousy, like I tend to get jealous a lot, and I know that it's destructive as well. So, how to deal with that too?
Yeah. 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 How to not seek validation. If one can say it very, very simply, just be okay with not having validation. Can you be okay with not having validation? So that's the most simply I can put it. Just be okay if you don't get validation. To be okay if approval is not there. That's being our best friend. What we do is when we don't get approval, we abandon ourselves. हम अपने आप को ही छोड़ के भाग जाते हैं. So अपने साथ कोई नहीं खड़ा होता. That's why we feel lost and we seek and seek. अभी इससे चाहिए, अच्छा उससे नहीं मिला तो उससे चाहिए, उससे नहीं मिला तो उससे चाहिए. अपना साथ छोड़ दिया. Right? So if I want to stop this seeking game of validation and approval, can I be okay in not getting approval? That's the most simplest I can put it. And I think we all can be okay. We all can be okay. It's a possibility for each one of us. The other thing that you were asking about, jealousy. In jealousy, two things are happening. First of all, I have to check that all my thoughts are revolving around this little me. Because if my thoughts are not revolving around little me, jealousy cannot be there. ये मैं, छोटी सी मैं, ये उसके टैलेंट्स हैं, ये उसकी वीकनेसेस हैं, इसने इतना अचीव किया है, तो मैंने अपने दिमाग में कुछ ना कुछ अपने बारे में एक स्टोरी बना के रखी है. And I have started to believe in that story. I think, yes, that's me, right? So I am believing in a figment of my imagination. Then what I am doing is not only believing it, I am actually comparing this figment of imagination with other figment of imagination which I have created in my head. And then I compare this imagination with this one and I say, no, this is superior. Arey, main kahan niche bathi hu? And I become jealous. So if you can catch this game, it is all a mind game we are playing with ourselves. We think we are very clever. And in this cleverness, we are actually fooling our own self. So noticing that I have created an image about myself, noticing that I don't have to believe in that image. No ego can be a happy ego. आप ट्राई कर लो जितना करना है, कर लो. You can be jealous of people. Okay. Run after ambitions. Okay. You cannot be a happy ego. When I say ego means the formation that I have created about myself in my head. That formation is what I call the ego, right? And if I start to believe in it, it is impossible that I don't become jealous. क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं वो कंपैरिजन आएगा ना दूसरों के साथ कि अच्छा उसके पास तो इतना है, वो तो इतना इतना कुछ, और मैं देखो कहाँ बैठी हूँ. right? So if I stop having images about my own self, if I keep it loose, fluid, because every time I'm changing, the other person is also changing. If I don't believe my own thoughts so seriously that I believe them, then it is impossible that jealousy happens. And jealousy is not our true nature. No one can be happy in jealousy. So to recognize the burning that you get in jealousy, to recognize the disturbance that you get in jealousy is not our true nature. So the moment I am jealous, I have as if swayed away from my own self. I'm not my best friend anymore. Because if I'm my best friend, would I burn my own house? And jealousy, anger, hate, it's all burning our own house. So, there is a reason why these emotions are called unpleasant emotions. There is a reason. Anger, hate, ambition, greed, all of these are called very unpleasant emotions. Why? Because they are just a signal that, hey, this is not you, this is not you. And if that unpleasantness is not there, then I would not even realize. I would think, yes, this is me, right? So it's only when something hurts that I realize, no, something is wrong. Kuch garbad hai. Red light pe, red light is like a big signal. So you see, mujhe rukna hai. So just like that, unpleasant emotions are for reason unpleasant, and the reason is that it just tells you that you have again swayed from your true nature, and now you are in the hands of the grip of the ego consciousness. So to recognize the grip of ego consciousness and then to let it loose, let it go.
Also, ma'am, now, like you said about creating images of yourself and then comparing. So, most of the time, I tend to feel like an imposter. Like all the time, not most of the time, but all the time. Like whatever happens, if someone compliments me and my work, I feel that I don't deserve this, or it just I haven't put any thought behind it. It just came. It feels like it just came by mistake or something, or it just, it was the need for that hour, like this thinking came, but I haven't put a much thought in that process. And when it comes to explaining, I get confused. So also, like, how to deal with this imposter feeling.
Samriddhi, whatever you are sharing, it's actually the crux is only one. Feeling like an imposter, or maybe jealousy, or maybe ambition, greed, comparison. This is all the consciousness of me and my little self. So ये आपके पास as if you have a bouquet, है ना? Bouquet समझते हो ना? बहुत सारे flowers होते हैं या things together. With the ego consciousness comes the side effects of jealousy, thoughts, overthinking, all of this comes in the bouquet of ego consciousness. तो हमने क्या करना, और ये सिर्फ आपकी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, ये पूरे ह्यूमन काइंड की प्रॉब्लम है, मैन काइंड की प्रॉब्लम है, right? And the thing is that I just have to recognize the moment there is a disturbing thought, the moment there is a disturbing sensation, become aware that, hey, I am going to fall into the trap of ego consciousness again. Stop yourself right there. If you want to be your best friend, stop yourself right there. So don't buy into your thoughts too much. कुछ नहीं रखा वहां पे. They are just empty bubbles. Nothing else is there. Nobody got anything by buying into their thoughts. People got many, many things by going beyond thoughts. When we talk of Buddha, Kabir, Mirabai, all of these are masters. Why? Because they were able to go beyond thoughts. Thoughts में रह के किसी का कुछ नहीं भला होने वाला. And also recognize the difference between a harmless thought, which is I go buy bread and butter, harmless, But the thing that you were talking of, obsessively thinking about yourself, obsessively, अब वो मेरे बारे में क्या सोच रहा होगा, अच्छा वो मेरे बारे में ऐसा सोचता होगा, अच्छा उसने कहा इसका मतलब उसका ये. So this obsessive loop of thinking, this is the kida, this is the problem. Otherwise, it's not that thoughts are problematic. Thoughts are harmless. But this obsession about me and my story, मेरी image, मेरा success, मेरा failure, ये जो मैं है ना, ये फसाद की जड़ है. This is the root of all conflict. So what you can do, just a suggestion for all of us, including myself, what we can do is, the moment self-obsessive thoughts come, I become aware and I don't buy into it. उसको इतना भाव नहीं देना, इतना importance नहीं देना उसको. So if now you want to make your life lighter and simpler, because it can only be done if you want it. If you right now don't want it, you're happy with jealousy, ambition, go ahead, right? But now if you want to have a simpler life, you are tired of your obsessive thinking, the moment thoughts about me, my story, my image, what are people thinking about me, the moment it comes, abandon the thoughts. Do not go there. कुछ नहीं मिलेगा वहां पे. There is
That's what is hard for me, abandoning the thoughts. Like I have tried many methods, but still they just keep on haunting and haunting.
they will haunt you. So what, see, there are only two solutions. यहाँ पे ज़्यादा ways नहीं है आपके पास. Either you abandon them right now, or you suffer more, abandon later. Only two options are there. ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है यहाँ पे. So if right now you are not convinced that I need to abandon, मेरे लिए वो बहुत जरूरी है, मेरी inner है ना. If you are convinced, then you abandon, because
Like
power.
I know that they are bad, and I know what consequences I will face, but still I just keep on ruminating.
Yeah. So ruminate and suffer more, and maybe after 5 years you may realize that now it is the time.
I always try that. Especially I ruminate in my past and traumas and all that.
All of us do.
Like whatever. Yeah. So that sometimes like if I'm not doing anything, I will be going through guilt trips all the time. You did this, you did that, and all that stuff.
See,
And
notice.
sometimes those thoughts would hit me like bullets, and I get froze and all that stuff. So that I'm like trying to find solution. I'm trying many things.
There are not many things are going to work here. There are only two possibilities. If right now you have suffered enough, you will be able to abandon them. If you are not able to abandon them, go through the suffering, suffer more, maybe 5 years, 10 years, maybe a lifetime. People do it. You are not alone. People
like they just keep the thought like to be there, right?
Sorry?
I mean, for example, a bad thought comes, they just allow it to be there, right? They won't do anything about it. Like you said.
Who are you talking of? They?
No, I'm just talking in a general manner that, like you said, suffer. Like some people do that. So it's like when the thought comes, you just let it be there, right? Without doing anything.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that right now, if I'm ruminating in the thoughts, definitely I am getting some or the other juice from those thoughts. It may be sadistic pleasure, dukh ras, or it may be some other kind of a pleasure. It cannot be that you are ruminating without any pleasure. Some or the other pleasure will be there. Okay. So what I'm saying is that if right now you are ruminating and not able to stop, go ahead, have the pleasure. Okay. Suffer, have the pleasure of suffering. There is a pleasure in suffering. One day later in your lifetime, if lucky this lifetime, if not the other one, if you are lucky, you may think enough of this torture on me, and now I don't want to do this, then you will be able to do this. क्योंकि power आपके पास है. Today we can talk about it, but when it comes to you, the thoughts come to you, who has to take the decision not to go there? You. So the power is yours. We are all absolutely helpless in this case. है ना? And just like that, if there is a problem I am facing, you can suggest, but the power is mine, because it's your kingdom, it's my kingdom, right? So that only two options right now. If you want to ruminate, are not able to stop, go ahead and ruminate, suffer more, and then maybe one day you will be able to stop the rumination. Or if you are wise enough now that, oh, no, I have suffered enough, I really want to make something good out of my life, I don't want to do this torture on me, then you can, maybe do it right now. And the other thing I feel also is that nowadays our lifestyles are such that we don't give ourselves enough challenges and work. So we are too much vela. We are too vela, and that's why all the time we have so much space for kachra and garbage in our head. So give yourself some good work where you can keep yourself engaged. That is another possibility parallelly.
Ma'am, and also it's like negative things, negative thoughts will be there, but we cannot suppress it at once. It can be suppressed. We cannot completely eradicate it. We have that one part which is our best friend. So what is the work of that best friend? Best friend shows what is right and what is wrong, show you the path, evaluate your thoughts. This is your right thought and this is your wrong thought. So it is our like our willpower and our practice. So if we practice to suppress it, to evaluate the thoughts, okay, what do I get by getting jealous, by getting angry, by shouting and screaming? And it is affecting only me in a negative way. It only hampers me, and it's bringing nothing good. It's just bringing negative things in my life. So that is how we should practice. And what happen is we go into such depression because we chase perfection. We need to realize perfection does not exist in reality. Only excellence exists. So chase excellence. By practicing, our willpower becomes stronger. When willpower becomes stronger, only then we can level down those negative thoughts. The frequency of those negative thoughts goes down. We can decrease the frequency of those negative thoughts. It will come, in one situation. We don't face same situation every day. We don't face that negative person every day. We may get in future we may face different negative person or different work which is very negative, or the environment, different environment, and based on that our emotions get triggered. So when we have that stronger willpower and we have that one part, our best friend, our angel, so yeah, and so by considering it and by practicing with patience, without cursing ourselves, without judging ourselves, we can achieve anything.
Yeah, beautiful. It's as if that external situations will be here and there, but slowly, as Zainab was sharing, can I develop a right attitude in myself? है ना कि अच्छा सिचुएशन होगी जैसी भी होगी, but right now what is the best possible attitude I can take? Because there we are the masters. There we have all the power to have the right attitude. External situation I can't do anything about, right? People come and go, relationships come and go, workplace issues keep on coming and going. But the only thing in my hands is my own attitude. So if Zainab used the word patience and perseverance, if with that I can just go on, I think that's what being our bestest friend is about. That, okay, let me have the highest possible attitude in this case. It's hard. It does not come easy to anyone, right? But if I am ready for it, then I will work for it. If yes,
Can you just give me another example of thinking of making the highest decision of oneself? Like,
yeah. So give me a situation from your life. Because then you can relate with it. Maybe a difficulty or something that you are, having in your life.
no, you can give me any example because
Any.
don't know.
So what? Are you a student? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm in my last year of interiors.
Okay, great. So anything that you encountered in the past, or you maybe think of encountering in the future, which is giving you anxiety or a worry?
Like I always have this feeling that I may not be a good interior designer because I take a lot of time in learning and like technical. I face technical difficulties. Not sorry. I face what do you say when it comes to uh, sites. We have to check the site and everything. And when it technicalities is like plumbing and all that stuff. So I always get this feeling ki will I understand? I mean, like during lectures also, I find it very difficult. So because of that, I get this feeling that would I be able to be a good interior designer, or would I be creative enough? Because I tend to always doubt my creativity.
Okay.
It always happens with me that I always get this doubt that if I'm really creative
Hmm.
or not. So
ठीक है,
yeah.
ठीक है. So here I am, like studying interior designing, and now I am worrying whether I'll be a good interior designer, whether I'll be able to face the challenges of the demands of the work, and also whether I would be creative or would be able to understand, right? Does that thought make you feel empowered, or does it make you feel weak?
It makes me feel weak because
There you go, just stop there. Right, so it makes me feel weak. Now if I am my best friend, would I continue with the thoughts which are making me feel weak, or would I transform into something empowering? I would transform it, right? So यहाँ पे आपको notice करना है. Usually what we do is we keep on in loop, we keep on thinking about thoughts which are making me weaker. I am unaware, and those thoughts are running and running and running, and I'm feeling weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, right? So if you want to do anything about it, then the moment this thought or a doubt or a worry, anxiety comes, immediately recognize it, immediately feel that it's making me feel weaker, right? Now you have to change it into something transformative, which is empowering. What can be empowering? And this is from the mother herself, Mother and Sri Aurobindo. Mother says that the moment you see that you have a negative trail of thoughts going on, you transform into something empowering and positive. How do you do that? Okay, I'm going to be this interior designer, right? And whatever challenge will come, I will learn through the whole journey. I will make myself learn. If I fail, I will learn. If I have success, I will learn. Now in this, I don't feel powerless. Because it's a win-win situation. If I fail, I will learn. Right? If I have success, I will learn. So this is what only you can do. Why? Because the thought will come to you, and you have the possibility of either going into the negative loop again, to going down the slide, or to notice it, kind of pick it out and change it into something empowering. और ये आपको खुद अपनी body में feel होगा that now this is empowering. Now it feels good that okay, challenges will come. Nobody has a easy life. Challenges will come. I will fail many times, make so many mistakes, but I will learn and grow through the process. अब आपको कोई नहीं रोक सकता. right? So this is how you can have the highest possible attitude.
And also, ma'am, we have like two minds, conscious mind and subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind, it covers our mind. It's like 95% is our subconscious mind. And subconscious mind does the work which is not voluntary. It handles involuntary works like breathing, our digestion, assimilation, our heart beating. So everything, it is handled by the subconscious mind. So we can also say our subconscious mind is like our genie. So what is the work of a genie? So he says, my lord, please, whatever you have a wish, I will complete that. If you give me a command, I will complete that task. So if I say to myself, I am a stupid, I cannot learn, I'm very weak, will I be able to do this? The genie says, yes master, you're right. And if I say, no, I have that willpower, I am very stronger, and I can face challenges, I can make myself better, I can live my life to my highest potential, then the genie says, yes master, you're right. So whatever you say to yourself, whatever you think, either way you are right. And our conscious mind, coming to the conscious mind, which we do consciously, now we are engaging, we are doing communication, so it is our conscious work. So if we move our hand, it is conscious work. So consciously, when conscious mind says, it is like a watchman, it shoo away the magic within us. So it shoo away that magic, it says, no, you cannot do. It suppresses our thought. You cannot do this, how can you do this, do you have that ability, that capability? But it is 5% only. 95% is subconscious, and it is very powerful. When you train your subconscious mind, when you align this conscious and subconscious mind, when in these both works in alignment, only then you can achieve anything. Whether control on your thoughts, getting more aware, and getting success. So everything, it is achieved through subconscious mind.
Yeah. There are patterns, thought patterns that you were talking of, the subconscious patterns. Yeah.
Can I?
Yes, please.
Actually, I wanted to ask that if you're going through something and in your circle there is one person who is also going through that same thing, but you are willing to improve, but that person you're going but that person who is going through that same thing is not willing to improve. So like, do you like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, should I be with them or not? Like, should you be with them or not? Because constantly, like in your circle, there is this energy who is kind of reflecting what you are going through and what's making you weaker. So, should we keep such people in your lives or not?
What do you think?
I mean,
You know the answer already.
no, it's kind of confusing
Mm-hmm.
because that person is a really good friend of mine, and whenever I learn something new or like something enlightening, I keep on telling him, and I just tell him ki, why can't we work on ourselves and stuff. He says yes and all that, but I don't really think he takes any action.
Yeah.
So should I keep such people, or should I just not be with such people who are just, you know, pretending to listen, but they're not there, or they're not working on themselves as well as not motivating you also.
Is
I
it
mean that
is it
temporary,
is
that
it
yeah,
yeah
sorry.
is it in your hands to drop the relationship? Do you really think that you can do it?
Well,
So imagine that I say, Samriddhi, the best possible way, although I'm not going to say that, but the best possible way is drop the relationship. Would you be able to do that?
no, it's hard
So
always.
why the question itself?
But still I feel that there are some people who can just, who are just reflecting what you're feeling, but they're not doing anything about it. And also it kind of influences you in some point.
Imagine, Samriddhi, today you are in the session, right? And you keep on coming to these sessions. And after few sessions, I see that you listen every day, but you don't change. So what shall I do? I shall kick out you from the session, or right? So everybody has their journey, right? We have to understand everybody has a journey. We do the best we can do, right? And leave the rest. And also the other thing is we cannot break relationships कि अच्छा अगर कोई मेरी बात नहीं सुन रहा तो मैं उसको छोड़ देती हूँ. इतना आसान थोड़ी ना होता है छोड़ना. It's not easy to leave relationships and people and break relationships. So just be the bestest possible you can be. Choose the highest possible, at least for your own self. And whatever you will be choosing for your own self, the highest possible, it will be beneficial for everyone. So don't try to fix or control other people's lives. They have their own journey. So everybody has their own journey. We must respect that also. Yes, Ashpriya.
So, so I also had, I mean, I'm trying to control that I used to think a lot, maybe because of my profession also, which makes me think. So thinking is a part of my life, and there actually came a point when I realized that the more I think, the more I actually suffer. Now the point is that our habit, it's our habit to think, and it's so difficult to get out of that habit. Samriddhi, I can relate to you. It's like my mind, and somewhere I think we all want to suffer also little bit. अच्छा ही लगता है मुझे कि हाँ, and then thinking that we are victims and all of those things, अच्छा लगता है. Now actually I realized gradually is that the more I think, mostly it is finding reason. Reason, इसका reason, उसका reason, ये क्यों हुआ, वो क्यों हुआ. This questioning never ends. But then gradually I started realizing actually pain मेरा अलग है, questioning अलग है. Okay, so this is just a rationalization of my pain that ये इसीलिए हो रहा है, वो इसीलिए हो रहा है. Then what I actually practiced, and I'm not saying that this will help in everyone, but what helped me was actually focusing on that pain only and stop thinking about the reason behind the pain. I mean, when I'm talking about focusing on the pain, actually focusing. So you kind of meditate and figure out where your pain is. It might be near to any chakra. For me, it was that ego chakra, and I focused on that. And it is a hard process because the pain will increase tremendously. It actually helped me, in calming my mind. This practice actually helped me calm because everything is body. Our body becomes that habit, a kind of preserver of habits. And this kind of it really helped me. Uh, just I'm talking to Samriddhi in particular because I know how it feels like to get lost in thoughts completely. There is so much happening, and then you don't know what to do. Like you said, breathing also, Monica. Breathing can be a very, very powerful. Now I do that more than that thing. I try to do that whenever it comes, and it really, really helps. And the other thing, we forget to be sincere. We only focus on that, end result. Like, agar main ye karu, to uh, will I be seen as someone who is good at it, who is creative or whatever? And then we forget to be sincere. Without that, I mean, and I face that very often. And I have to remind myself that am I being sincere? Am I being sincere? So, Monica, for actually many a times I think you also, you become so sincere that I feel okay. I also want to be sincere, and here that validation thing also comes in. That sometimes we are not so sincere, and we seek validation because we know that we are not being so sincere. the moment we are very sincere, we will not seek so much.
Beautiful, beautiful. This sincerity that you are talking of, it's a very good question that we can put ourselves, that why do I want to be sincere? Is it because I want, as you were sharing, is it because that would get me approval and appreciation from people? Or is it because when I'm sincere, I really feel good about myself?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
It
you
is so powerful that
very
nothing
powerful.
else, yeah,
Yeah.
nothing else matters. There is a book by someone, a Russian psychologist called Mihaly something. I cannot pronounce his name, the rest of his name. It's called Flow.
Mhm.
So that the fact that if you are in the flow, of course, it's a very scientific, quote unquote, scientific way of looking at happiness. But if the moment we are in that flow and we lose ourselves in any work that we do, we actually, that is the point when we feel happy.
Beautiful.
Rest everything, yeah, we don't.
Beautiful. I think you just touched upon self forgetfulness.
Yeah, yeah.
And Mother also talks about self forgetfulness. And
Mm,
that's the best way of being happy.
mm,
So, not really thinking all the time about our own selves, but being self forgetful, that you got lost in the work so much that you lost a sense of who you were. There we find the true happiness. Yeah, beautiful. Uh,
Ma'am, one last thing I want to say.
yes, yes, yes.
To Samruddhi, I want to say.
Yeah.
I completely able to resonate to her. One thing I want to bring to light is when I attended your session, I still remember my first doubt was like, ma'am, I'm surrounded by toxic people. I cannot remove or separate from them. Ma'am, how can I forgive these toxic people even if they don't deserve it? And ma'am was like, Zainab, the garbage will be there till you're on this earth, till you're alive. So I still remember what ma'am said to me. And I was again like in the next session, I was like, ma'am, I don't know whether I've choose the right career to me or not. And in the third session, I was like again with new problem. Ma'am, I want to connect the dots. Ma'am, it is like I have some suppressed emotions. That is why I always come up with diseases and disorders. So it is like, we all have problems and solutions. Again, we search from therapists, from the sessions and all. One thing we need to realize, until and unless we don't get that self realization, until and unless that self realization doesn't happen, how many motivational videos you see, how many sessions you attend, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense or it doesn't affect you. That self realization is most important. And with through that, I have developed this. And with that self realization, I have get rid of all those negative emotions, not completely eradicated, but I'm working on it. The frequency has leveled up. I know how to control it. My willpower has increased to control that, to situations, to my emotions. So yeah, even if you see motivational videos and sessions from morning till evening, day by day, weeks and weeks, you'll be like, first you'll be like, ah yes, there is something happening in my life, but again you will be like, situation. But again, next same problem, same anxiety, same depression, same complaints. But when that self realization happens, only then you can bring change to your life. We don't know how many days we have, how many weeks or years we have to live. So why to contribute our precious time to all this bullshit nonsense, to which to something which is not even worthy at all? We should spend time in something worthy, in something great and something beautiful. Yeah, that's it. And thank you to Monica ma'am.
Actually,
Thank
what
you
she's
for
saying
sharing.
is like very true. But this self-realization is also very hard, because the thing is, I'm in the state of confusion all the time, and I don't know how to get rid of this confusion. I mean, whatever, I'm not able to make decisions and all that. Like, so how to get rid of this confusion first? Like, even if I write down things, it doesn't seem to help me that much, because in the end, I end up being confused. So how to, deal with this confusion? Because I'm not able to think anything else. I
Samrit,
constantly have mixed thoughts about things, and sometimes it just irritates me a lot.
yeah, Samriddhi, the way you are expressing today, I think all of us would agree it's a very clear way of expressing, and you are able to put your point forward, right? So don't indulge too much in obsessively thinking about whether I'm doing it right, whether I'm able to, express clearly, whether I'm, confused. This is all of it is nothing but a self obsession. Ego is self obsessed with itself. ठीक है, तो उसको सिर्फ एक काम आता है, क्या? अपने बारे में सोचना. As long as you remain in that field, you will remain confused. So there is no surprise that you are confused right now. All of us, whenever we are in the ego domain, we are confused. Ask anyone. We are full of doubt. We are full of worry. We are full of fear, anxiety for future and the past. Right? So this is nothing. First of all, nobody can do except for you, as Zainab was sharing. Power is with you. No one has the power. Even if, as you Zainab was sharing, कि आप 10,000 वीडियोस देख लो, फिर भी करोगे आप वही जो आपको ठीक लगता है अपनी लाइफ में, right? So to choose that I want to do the best possible for me, who has to make this choice? You, right? And we are not going to become your crutches. ठीक है, हम यहाँ पे आपको हैंडीकैप करने के लिए नहीं है. We were talking about love. Now what love is so courageous. Look at the power of love. If I truly love Samriddhi, would I want that Samriddhi becomes dependent on me? No, never. I can hint through the sessions or whatever talks, I can hint that Samriddhi finds the true courage and strength within herself. This I can hint. And then Samriddhi is on her own. I have nothing to do with Samriddhi, right? So true love is actually very courageous, because it lets out the other person that, okay, you are now independent. But attachment says, stay with me, stay with me. Okay, so what I want to point at is the power is with you. Nobody else has the power to change your life. But once you have taken the decision that now I have to change my life, then you will be able to make the right decisions. And now today you were able to take the decision that I have to come to the session and talk. This is a good decision, I would say. It gives you mental clarity. It helps you connect with people who are on the same journey, right? So it's a good decision. You were able to take a good decision easily, right? So don't think so negatively that, oh my God, what will happen and I'll not be able. You are able to. Look at this. You are able to take a good decision. Throughout the session, you were the only person, I would say, mostly, interacting and questioning and talking, because you have so many things to talk about. So you did take a good decision. अपने आप को, you don't have to bash yourself, oh my God, I'll never be able to take a good decision, right? So also take the little baby steps that you are taking, that here I took a good decision. Okay, and slowly you would see that things do fall in place, and you have the power, that yes, I can take decisions. I can even take all the failures that come into my life, and make it into my stepping stones to progress. I will not stop. Right? So the power is in your hands.
Also, I would like to ask Zainab this question, that when you realized, what steps did you exactly take? I mean,
Thank you for asking this question. And I was about to tell you that how I get rid of this or how I am working on it. So one thing, same overthinking problem, and due to this, I could not able to sleep during night. I did meditation, but it didn't work for me. I think you may know what is meditation. It is just letting the thoughts to just pass without judging it. So I let those thoughts to pass till 3 a.m., till 4 a.m., and I used to not sleep. Then it affected to my health also terribly. And I went to the doctor, and he was Ayurvedic doctor, because the medicines which I used to take, it was I could not able to tolerate the this English medicines. So I went to Ayurvedic doctor, and he was also a psychologist. So one session I attended. Then again next day same problem, no changes, not even a 1%, again overthinking problem. So what I did is, see, Samruddhi, what works for me, not necessary that should work for you. You need to dig what works for you. You need to keep trying, keep analyzing, keep opening what works for you. Okay, so what works for me is I started journaling, art journaling. So in art journaling, you may know, but still I will explain what I do in art journaling. So art journaling is, it's about, taking your book, paper, anything, taking paper, colors. I love art. Okay. So taking colors. So in that art journaling, what I do is I collect different pictures from newspapers or magazines or wherever I get pictures. So I used to collect it. So if I like one thought, one quote, I used to write it. I used to make design with my own hands, flower design, whatever design you may like. It just, see, it does not has to be like an one art piece, or it does not has to change the world. If it makes you happy, it does not has to make sense to others. Even if you are taking a pen and just scribbling on a paper, or just drawing a vertical and horizontal lines, that is also fine. If it is soothing your nerves, art journaling soothed my nerves, it calmed my nerves, and my attention and my concentration diverted from overthinking to one thinking. So what was happening in art journaling was, my attention went to, so which color I should put here, which color should I choose, which picture which I can attach here, and which quote I can put to this, what design I can make. So that thing helped me. And firstly I did in the night time, because in night time my mind was used to get super alert, overthinking. So when I was doing that art journaling, it soothed my calm, it calmed my nerves. So I was just relaxed, and then I got my sleeping cycle, not correctly, but it increased. I used to sleep it 3 hours. Now I am sleeping 5 to 6 hours and 6 to 7 hours. So yeah, that helped me. And say we'll be like keeping our mobile outside the room, but still we'll be thinking about that only. What message I have got, what email I have got, how can I make my work better tomorrow, or how can I how could I have done better, or how I could do better. That is what we'll be thinking. So I just it diverted my attention. And apart from journaling, the usual in the whole day, if I'll be doing other works, if then when I come up with negative thoughts, then I used to evaluate. Okay, if I have get jealousy or anger, does it has any positive effect? Does this bringing me something? Okay, if I get angry on other person, okay, does my anger changes that person? That person gets only changed by at his own will, not by getting angry at him. So if I get jealous, is that jealousy necessary? By getting jealous, whatever there with that person, that precious thing does not come to me by flying. If I get jealous, so it doesn't make any sense. So I have suppressed those negative emotions. That frequency has goes down. Okay, of negative emotions. So yeah, this is how. And also, if you want to do it, you can go for hypnotherapy, because hypnotherapy, it works at root cause. The normal when you go to a psychologist, that session that works at, see, we'll be communicating at conscious level that time, so it works at conscious level, at surface level, but hypnotherapy, it works at root cause. So I took only hardly one session. It was like calming my nerves, that also. Yeah, that's it. And one thing, the biggest thing which I have realized that has changed my life completely is that I've asked one question to myself. Okay, if I have one day to live, do I really spend time? Do I spend my precious time in contributing to these rubbish things, in getting jealous, getting angry, getting super frustrated, messing up my mind? Do I really spend my time if I had one day to live? No. So that is the main.
Yeah, beautiful pointers, Zainab. Thank you for sharing your pointers. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, anyone else? Any more things to share, or we can also end it here? I think Abhishek has shared something in the chat window. It was about that Russian book that Aspriya was sharing earlier, Flow. Yeah. Yeah, any more further sharing, any reflection, question? Okay. So, we have to understand that it takes a lot of effort to live a good life, right? And we must put that effort, as Zainab was sharing all the things that she did, to change her own life from negative to a neutral or an easy state, a simple living. So it all requires a lot of effort. And she also shared that it's not that the same formula may work with all the people, right? Everyone, each one of us has to devise their own formula. So let us put the effort. She has put the effort. Zainab, when, as she was sharing in the beginning, so much of negative thoughts coming, not able to sleep. Then she put in the effort, the right effort, so that now I want to change my life, make it beautiful, right? So whenever we put effort, we have beautiful results. And whatever new formula you may make for your life, that is your own formula, right? So we can get inspired by listening to Zainab, for example, that how she was able to transform the state of her life, not remaining drenched in negativity all the time. So if one can do it, others can also do it, right? So let us put this effort, each one in their own way. Everyone is very, very unique, very special, and make this life worthwhile. We don't know, as she was sharing, we don't know how much we have to live. So would we want to waste this life in rubbish, or would we want to make something worthy out of it? Each day is very, very important, because we don't know what is the last day. That's very, very true. We don't know what is our last day. So really doing something worthwhile with this life that we have, precious life. So thank you everyone for joining, and for sharing, all of you, for beautiful questions, experiences, and reflections. And yeah, more power to each one of you. Thank you. Yeah, thanks Samriddhi for joining today. Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye everyone.